If you could summarize the Pedigo submission fighting process, how would you summarize it?
I would say the special thing about our process is that when you move here, Heath does a really good job at mitigating the amount of stress that normal humans have on them so that you could be as successful as you possibly can in jiu-jitsu. He gives you the ability to live very inexpensively and train very inexpensively, get food very inexpensively, compete very inexpensively so that you can focus generally on jiu-jitsu. He gives you an opportunity to go to 2 sessions a day minimum with 30 to 40 to 50 killing machines that are here for the same reason as you. You know, how many incredible jiu-jitsu people do you know that go to practice are like, man, I can't get somebody to come to practice with me and train or drill.
Yeah.
Like he mitigates all the bullshit excuses. And the process really is nothing else than show up. That's number one. All you got to do is show up, care about your teammates, and train hard. That's it. That's the process right there. Show up, care about your teammates, train hard. Everything else is pretty much given to you. You know what I mean? Like, you got, and consistency. You got to be consistent. You can't just do this half-ass and think just coming and showing up and doing bare minimums is going to give you results,
Yeah.
You're going to struggle. Not everybody's going to be the freak and freaking just go out there and kill.
Yeah.
I lost for 3 years. I lost for the first 3 years I was at PSF. 3 years straight. Couldn't get on the freaking podium. Couldn't freaking get a freaking IBGF gold. And then one day I did, and then I kept getting them. And then it just keeps going from there.
It builds. So how do you teach that to your wrestlers that you're coaching?
You just constantly, as a coach, you have to instill that in the leaders in the team. You have to instill that, even the guys that are struggling the most, because and everyone always says this, your weakest guy is as good as your best guy. You know what I mean? But like, this is the truth. Like my brand new, every year I get an influx of new guys. They know nothing and they're going to get pummeled. It's just wrestling. That's how it goes. And obviously some kids are more natural at it than others, but you have to instill in those first year guys, just as much as your best guys, that the process works, and you're going to struggle. It's okay. You take that shit on the chin, you move on to the next thing. That's what winners do. They freaking keep going.
Yeah.
You can dwell for 5 minutes or so. You take that shit, you knock it off, and you freaking keep going.
Yeah.
Because even as a black belt, it's like everyone says, you get your black belt and then everything starts over again. You got to keep chugging. You got to keep going.
Yeah.
I just constantly beat positive reinforcements into their head. It's just, we don't have time to be negative for more than a couple seconds. You're allowed to be upset after a loss. You're allowed to be disappointed after a bad practice, but you're not allowed to dwell. You're allowed to be upset because it shows you care. And that's important. It's important to care, but you're not allowed to dwell, because then it becomes toxic and cancerous, and it will spread like disgusting shit all over the rest of your team, and you'll infect all your incredible athletes that way. So you got to nip that shit in the butt immediately. But that's it, man. You just got to beat positive reinforcements into your kids, until it becomes second nature to all of them. And it will. And your leaders will take to that, and they will spread that to your newer guys.
Hopefully. Man, that's powerful. Yeah, you can't put a lot of emotions around winning or losing, I think. Like, if you win, that's great, but you can't get cocky. You can't let it get to your head. If you lose, it's like, well, oh well. Maybe you just wasn't your day. Maybe you made some dumb mistake that you can fix and go back and win next time.
And look,
or something.
And that stuff does happen. Sometimes you do everything right and you still lose. It just happens, okay? But look, you can't just hope that you're gonna win. You have to mitigate all the doubt in your mind. You have to train hard as fuck, and you have to work with certain people. And if you're not good at leg locks, or if Paul's good at leg locks and I have to go against Paul, I need to make sure that I'm drilling and being put in leg locks, so that anytime you pull me into the saddle, or anytime you pull me into single leg X or Ashigur or ball sack, whatever it's called, that you're ready and you're not scared, and you can't just train hard, not drill the right stuff, and hope that you just beat yourself up enough in practice that you're going to win.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to take, and as you get higher up in level, you have to take, precaution to prepare yourself mentally. And that's how you go into these tournaments and these matches with zero doubt in your mind that you're ready to go. You show up to all the practices, you train hard, and then you have to single out certain specifications and drill those specifications so that you know that you're ready no matter what happens in the matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you go in there with a confidence of, I've done everything possible. I've trained with Michael Pixley every day. He's beaten me up in wrestling. I can wrestle with anybody. I've done leg locks with Jacob Couch every single day. I could roll around doing leg locks with anybody. Those are the things that you can tell yourself at Pedigo Submission Fighting and go into every match knowing it's up to you if you're going to take the initiative and get with those guys in the practices. Yeah. That's a cool thing about PSF. People are like, am I allowed to go to the class, the upper level class? It's like, no, there is no upper level class. The white belts first day are going in the same room training with Jacob Couch and Michael Pixley and Tad and everybody. So it's up to you. You have to take the initiative to do those things.
Yeah, man. And I feel like that transcends the mats. Like later on in life, if you go and do something else, that sort of work ethic can apply to anything in life. How do you feel like your wrestlers are benefiting from this training outside of their lives? Have you heard anything about how it kind of helps their lives outside?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I mean, you fight, especially with the younger. It's very special doing it with high school kids because high school kids are very emotional kids and they're going through a lot of things. You know, I hate my parents. I just got my new girlfriend. You know, they're going through hormones and they're trying to figure out their lives and they think they know everything, but they really don't know anything, you know. So it's very special when you can lead kids on a good path. And you see that all the time. And it's great when you see a kid that's completely lost or very sad or very insecure. And then, you know, they keep their hood on every day and they don't show their face to anybody. And then next thing you know, they're running around with their chest down. They're happy to be alive. And that's a very special thing. And you're literally changing lives at that level. But the thing that I love more than anything is when you're with the little kids and you're literally watching their brains develop and you're cognitively watching them grow. And in a way, you're almost parenting them. But, you know, we're not their parents, but like you're literally building them as they're growing. Like they're little. I mean, I know all the parents probably know what I'm saying, but like you're like rebuilding these kids. Like we have these like little 5-year-old kids and they're terrified and they cry and they're scared. And then in a matter of months you would never even recognize them.
Yeah.
In a year, you would never even know that kid was a crybaby or that he was scared or that, you know, he was insecure and he didn't want to be in groups. And now he's running around doing backflips and he's jumping on it. You know, it's a very special feeling. And you know, and they're winning and they're being successful. And that's just the icing on the cake. But like literally like seeing these little like babies go from scared, not not wanting to talk to anybody to just being super like excited and happy and running around. It's an incredible feeling as a coach.
Man, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. It really is. It's neat. And it's just growing. And the fact that we're only in our like beginning stages is just like such a wild thing to think.
In the infancy, man. Infancy. That's awesome, dude. I just went to the PGF in Vegas, and on the plane back and forth, I read Jigoro Kano's book, Mind Over Muscle. He's the guy who started Judo.
Oh, cool.
And it was so good. But the thing that really stuck out to me was it was a short book, if anyone's interested in reading it. But the thing that stuck out to me is he was all about the stuff that we're talking about on the show all the time, which is that he cared primarily about the mental benefits from training. And from his perspective, that was the whole deal. That was the whole reason to even do it. And a part of the book that really stuck with me was this is like a paraphrasing, but he said, like, if you work really hard to be strong and win tournaments and do all this great stuff, but you're not a good person who's able to contribute to society, then what's even the point? Like, it was just a complete waste of time. And he was talking about how the whole purpose of this stuff is to develop good citizens and good people. And that's really what you're doing. That's what you're talking about when you're developing these young kids. And in his opinion and in mine, and I would hedge a bet probably in yours too, martial arts is the key thing that kids need to develop. Like they need this stuff. It's more so than just like, oh, it's a nice to have. It'd be cool if you learn how to throw a punch. Like, no, it's like they need this as a fundamental human thing. That's what I've come to believe.